Closest to like the original that I made, but I just showed you all those different sizes. You can make it you know, so many different ways, and I hope that like me, this is going to turn into your go-to hat because it's so easy to make. So I'm going to start one. Who's ready to start? You guys ready? I'm going to use, this is my favorite. I think this is all gone, this particular yarn, the kaleidoscopes. I bought a ton of it. This one is my favorite color. It reminds me of aliens, and I just went crazy for that bright purple and bright green and that stripe, and I just went around to all the stores and I bought it when it went on clearance for like $3, and I just went crazy, and Marianne was going all up and down the East Coast going to all these different Michaels looking for it for me. So I have a ton of this. I have a couple bags of this yarn behind the couch, and I plan on just like eating through. Hey Sarah, Sarah's here. Through this, through my yarn stash with this hat. So let's get going. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 40. I'm gonna make the big obnoxious version. Anyone who's working along with me. Here we go. Oops. Unfortunately, my hands are backwards when you do it on an iPhone. Well, Christy, she's saying she wants to use some leftover velvet yarn for this, but she's not good at pom-poms. So I don't know if by velvet you mean chenille yarn. I don't know if that would really be good for a pom-pom, because that yarn is actually kind of woven. It's got little clips of thread of yarn and twisted up in thread. So try it first. Oh, it's 34, not 25. So you want to start by chaining 40, 34, or 25. Those are the Maiya's Roommates hat magic numbers. 25, you're probably not going to have a brim to cuff up. 34, you may or may not. And 40, you definitely will have a big giant, you know, cuff on the hat, and that's going to keep your ears warm. So we're going to start by double crocheting into the third, 1, 2, 3, chain from the hook, or hold on, that was not enough, that was only the second one. And we're going to double crochet all the way across the row. Oh, this yarn is so fun to work with. I probably have, I think I actually work this hat with a slightly smaller hook. Yeah, this is to use an N hook, and I'm using a K. So I think I use a kind of slightly smaller hook so that I get that dense, really dense fabric for the hat. Oh, Bernat Velvet, yeah. Hey, Marianne. I think Marianne's in the car. But these skeins of Kaleidoscope have 77 yards in them, and this, if I make a ginormous pom-pom for the top of the hat, which I probably will, that giant pom-pom maker that we have takes almost a whole skein of this yarn to make. It's Karen, it's Maiya's roommate's hat. And Maiya is spelled M-A-I-Y-A. You can go grab it from Ravelry, or you can just crochet along with me if you want. It's super easy. We're starting with 40. You can start with 40, 34, or 25. 34, you can, 34, it just depends on your style. That's maybe going to be like a slouchy hat. Maybe younger kids are going to wear a little more slouchy. Older people might want to cuff it. I don't know why I'm saying older or younger. I guess older people could wear slouchy. Sarah, I showed Marianne the picture of the baby in the hat that you made. Yeah, it's Kaleidoscope. I think I showed a couple people at work the picture of the baby, Sarah, and everybody was just dying. That was so cute. I like woke up to that. A picture of Sarah's baby wearing Maiya's roommate's hat. You have no idea how good that made me feel. So I didn't count how many double crochets I did. I count from the end. You want to keep going until you have 7 chains left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't even count. I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about this pattern too. You don't have to count. Your double crochets. And once you do one row of the decreases, I got 3 left to go. Then you can just follow whatever you've got on the row below. And you don't even have to think, you can just sit there and watch your shows. Okay, so I've got 7 left. So from here, you do 3 half double crochet, 3 single crochet, and a slip stitch to the end. And it's just going to give the top of the hat a little bit of a taper. Now people have been making side to side double crochet hats probably since the beginning of time and just gathering them up the top. That's how the original hat was that my daughter brought home. It was just straight up double crochet gathered up at the top, and I thought, well, I could do better than this. Like, this doesn't even look that great. And so, yeah, and so I did. All right, I did my 3 half doubles, 3 singles, and now a slip stitch. You just go in, you pull all the way through, and then you chain 1 to turn. And then my slip stitch is going to go right there. Slip stitch through both loops. And now from here, with the exception of the first and last stitch of each row, you can opt to work into the back loop only, 3 single crochet, three half double crochet, and it's exactly what I have on the row below, so you can just follow what you did on the row below. And then I'm going to double crochet through the back loop until the end of my row, and then the very last double crochet I'm going to do through both loops, just because it gives it a little more stability on the edge. Hi, Gwen. Thank you for the heart eyes. I love you too. That's so cute. I love yarn that changes colors on its own. And I love yarn that has like one ply that changes colors, and then a little bit later the other ply will change colors. I don't know, to me it's just super interesting. This is row 2. Hi, Danielle. Hey, could somebody that's watching, could you please share this video to the 6-Day Kid Blanket group and to the Betty's Besties group? I like how the color changes are lining up already. So you don't have to do back loop. You can work through both loops, or you can work through the front loop, which is I think what I did on the original. Yep, I did. I only worked through the front loop. So it just gives you a little different looking texture. If you work through the back loop, you're gonna get more rib. You're gonna get more dimension and more rib. You could work through both loops too if you, I don't know, Marianne and I kind of decided that working through both loops, you know, and making a less textured hat was more masculine. Okay, so this is my last. So what I'm doing at the end is I'm doing a chain 2, and then I'm doing, and that's not counting as a double crochet. So I'm gonna go into this last stitch right here through both loops, and then chain 2 and turn, and then I'm gonna double crochet right into the first one. And that counts as double crochet. So the chain's not going to count. I also just, okay, then we're just working back across the row, double crochet, back loop only. I'm speeding up a little bit here. Peta from the 6-Day Kid Blanket group, actually, she's in the Besties too. She tested something for me recently. I think the swirly, the swirly cowl. I'm gonna get that out before Thursday. We're gonna work the swirly cowl on Thursday. But she tested that for me, and she does what she calls a standing double crochet. And I actually tried it on a couple of projects. She had sent me a video for how she does it, and I actually did it a different way than she does, but I really like it. It looks like a double crochet, almost normal double crochet stitch on the end, so you don't have any turning chains. Who's working along with me? Is anyone working along with me? Oh, my hands can't be seen. Doi. I wonder if there's a way I can flip this. Hey, Gail. How are you? Hey, Christy. I wonder if there's a way to flip this video once I'm done. That's why you guys are so quiet, because you're working, you're crocheting. I can crochet and talk at the same time. It's kind of not fair. Okay, I'm not saying what I'm doing either, so I don't, I don't even count really. I just, when I see those 3 half doubles, I just, on the row below, I just work them. Same with the singles. I've made so many hats like this now too. I can practically make them in my sleep. And it feels great to just be able, thank you, Danielle. It feels great just to be able to pick up yarn and a hook and just go, just go, just cast on and start. So I always work the slip stitch through both loops, and then you just keep going. Mine end up being about 24 to 26 rows, but for a lady's hat you want about 22 inches in length. Well, that's okay, Christy. You can catch us on the, on the replay. The videos stay on the page forever. I'm gonna find a way to upload them. I think there's a way you can put them on YouTube. So I think I'm gonna do that because people ask to see different stuff that I've done in past videos. Sometimes in the 6-day kid blanket group, people ask to see the edging, and I don't have a video for that yet. I'm really sleepy today too. I didn't get that much sleep, and then I worked this morning. My hours are they recently changed my hours, and I go in an hour earlier now. And we have new tasks at work because we're shipping from the store now. We're like picking orders, online orders, and shipping directly from our stores to customers. What yarn and hook are everybody using? Is everybody using? I don't know if my grammar was good right there. And what size? Make sure you post your pictures in the event, and you can post in the besties group too. And if you do something, if you revise, if you use a different yarn, or you're trying to make, somebody was trying to like resize for kids. If you use a different hook and yarn, weight of yarn, and you make a different size hat, let us know what you did. Hey Natasha, you like this yarn? I'll bring you some. I'm pretty sure I have more. We had it in the store last year, and it's gone now. Partially because of me, because I bought so much of it. Premier Serenity Chunky. Oh yeah, Charisma's great for this hat. Charisma's great, probably like Lion brand, Thick and Quick, any of the Thick and Quicks, or what's the other thick one that Lion brand has? It looks like Woolly's Thick and Quick, but it's called something else. Marianne and I have been, hi Anna, Marianne and I have been this is probably backwards. It says super bulky. Calls for a 10mm hook. It's a number 6, super bulky. I don't know what you call that in the UK, I'm sorry. Premier puzzle. So you finished up your first hat, Natasha. Way to go. Did you make a pom-pom for it? What weight is Premier puzzle? Seems so weird to be making hats today. It's like the, you want to use a funky color for the pom-pom. It's a good idea, because that yarn is really super plain. So I do this a lot. I don't know what I'm thinking. You gotta watch the row below. That, oh no, that was right. Half double, half double, half double, single, 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 slip. Ooh, that's tight. Oh, nice, Indy. I made a little split. Yeah, it's super hot here today. I don't know if you guys can hear my AC running. I usually turn it off for these videos, but we're under a heat advisory here, and it was up in the 90s earlier, and you guys all know I have 3 puppies here. Well, they're not puppies, they're old dogs. Cool. Linda says, hi Betty, haven't started what yet. What's the best weight to use? I have no chunky. So if you don't have any chunky, you can actually use any weight of yarn. You just might have to upsize a little bit. If you use worsted weight and start with 40 chains, you'll probably have like just a regular toque size hat. You might be able to fold up a little bit, and then you might have to work a few more rows to get to 22 inches, but you basically want, for like a medium women's hat, you're gonna keep repeating these rows until you reach about 22 inches. So for me, that's usually around 26 rows of the pattern. And you want to actually finish on this end, so you don't want to do an odd number. You want to only do an even number. And so the reason for that is, once again, motivated by me being lazy, and I want all the ends of my hat to end up at the top, and then I'm going to use them to tie off the hat and tie on the pom-pom And I'm not gonna weave anything in. I'm not gonna weave. I don't want to. But I like this, the construction of this hat a little bit better because it is a little bit easier to adjust size for it. It's easier than, say, if you were doing a hat, you know, if you were crocheting in the round and, you know, you wanted it to be bigger or smaller or whatever. It turns out too big or too small. I have always had trouble crocheting in the round like that. But yeah, this was a little bit different because you can start with a longer chain or a shorter chain, and you don't really even have to count it if you don't want to. You can just chain and be like, okay, that looks about right, you know, and then just start. And then, you know, when you get to the end of the row, it doesn't really matter how many double crochets you do, as long as you have 8 or 7 rather chains at the end of the row to do the decreases. So no matter what size hat you're making, there's always 7 stitches of decreases at the top of the hat. So whether you're doing 25, 34, or 40, you still have the same 7. And whether you're making a baby hat, worsted weight, baby weight, chunky, whatever, it's still 7 stitches. 40, 34, and 25 chains to start has always worked, no matter what yarn I've used to start with. People like to know, though, exactly like how much yarn am I going to need and how many, but I don't know. For me, it's just more like this pattern in particular is just more kind of like a recipe than a real pattern. Some people, when they cook, they measure everything. They want it to taste exactly like how it tasted when, you know, somebody else made it, and they want to replicate that. And then there are people like me, you can ask Marianne, who cook like this. And she's there going, how much of that are you putting in? And I'm like, I don't know, like about this much. Who has been to Michael's to see the new yarn? Who bought some? Oop. Yeah, Anna, do you like them? I think that the latte cakes, I would make something like a cowl or something that sits right up on the neck and is nice and soft and fuzzy. I think that's what it would be good for. I don't think I would try. I don't see myself working up Metro North with it. Doesn't feel like it would make, it lends itself to that pattern too much. And by the way, if you want the Metro North pattern, you can go into Betty's Besties. I pre-released it there. It's still in progress. It's still a work in progress. It's not quite ready yet. But people are making them and they're beautiful. And they are that pattern. It's called Metro North. And it's a triangular scarf pattern. It is a one ball wonder for mandala. We made them with mandala. And you use almost exactly one ball of mandala. for the scarf. The medium. It's offered in 3 sizes, but the medium version. Marianne test crocheted it for me. Of course, she's like a machine, you know. She didn't just make one, she's already made like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, so that the yarn was supposed to be set out on Sunday, yesterday, I believe, was when the release was for it. And we had ours out on the floor when we were setting it a couple of days too, and then we had to put it back. But ours, they left it out. They left it out on the floor yesterday. I have to say that the patterns, I found the patterns that were released with the yarns, just don't really feel inspired by them. But I don't know, I focus really hard on my own patterns. I make a lot of my own patterns over and over again because it's just, you know, what I do, and I want to keep making my patterns so that I can refine them and make sure that they're, you know, that they're good. And people ask me constantly, you know, how many do I chain for this size? How many do I chain for that size? How much yarn do I need for this? And how much, you know, people ask me those questions a lot. So I always like to try and make things in different sizes. It takes me forever just so I can answer people's questions. Oh, Linda, it sounds like you're doing a lot better. You went through a tough time there, huh? Anna, are you talking about Marianne with the Metro North? She's just insane. She stays up really late sometimes too, working on them, so I'll wake up in the morning, there's like pictures of my pattern that I made. It's so, you guys, you can't imagine the feeling of seeing your pattern like come to life in other people's hands. It's so extremely satisfying. But she does a really beautiful job test crocheting. All the testers did with the Metro North shawl. It was really great. It really, you know, like that pattern just tightened right up. I worked on it again a little bit the other day, and I made a couple changes to it and put an edging on it. And I feel like it's really solid. And I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna be free. I'm gonna release it out there for free. I'm not gonna charge. DK is a little lighter than worsted, right? Oh yeah, Kathy, my daughter, so I have the one that my daughter stole. When she did the photo shoot with her boyfriend for Maiya's roommate's hat, and then I had a basket of the hats sitting there, and it had a few other, you know, knitted and crocheted pieces in it, and that was one of them, was the Never Not Twisted, and it didn't even have a name at that point. And she came up with that name because she hates when I make Mobius scarves. She hates when I put a twist in it. And the reason she hates it is because she wants to fold it and she wants it to lie flat. And a Mobius, you can never get it to lie flat. But it's nice to wear because it always has that little twist in it, so it falls, you know, like it drapes really nicely. But anyway, so I'm really proud of that pattern, but I haven't been able to get it written up because she took it. She kept it after they did the photo shoot. And so I've been asking her to bring it back up here. She just brought it up last night, so I have to go, you know, just go through it and count it and make sure I write down, you know, what really happened there when I made that. I just pick things up and start sometimes. That's just how I roll. But I really like the way that one came out, and I've got some options for it too. It's got a little bit of a weird twist when you first get it started because it is truly a Mobius. And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I know it makes me feel good when she wears all my stuff, you know. It's very flattering because you guys saw her in the photos of Maiya's roommate's hat, right? She has that blue hair and she's gorgeous and she's so fun. And so when she's an artist, so she's extremely particular about what she wears. She's always been like that when she was a little girl. When she had to like wear school uniforms to school. And you know, kids are always bratty, often bratty when they have to wear school uniforms and they don't want to. But it really wasn't about style for her. It was, and it took me a while to kind of figure this out. It was just, she has always had this really artistic mind. So when she went out into the world, the way she presented herself was always like a work of art. Like she was art. And there were a lot of times where it was just like, oh my God, you know, like I had to really let go of a lot raising her. But yeah, so on the flip side of that, when she comes up here and starts trying on the stuff that I'm designing, and she picks something up and goes, ooh, I really like this one, can I have it? You know, then I know I've got a winner. And sometimes she'll choose yarn and she'll say like, make something like this or this for me, and she'll like inspire the design. Like she'll direct the design. Yeah, so she's always the one when I'm working on something, I have her come up here and try it on, and she tells me what she thinks. She helps me make it better. She's great. But yeah, she stole that Never Not Twisted, even though she, you know, she was like, oh, I hate when you put a twist in this because I can't fold it, and it feels like it's activating my OCD is what she said. I want to fold it, be able to fold it and make it lie flat, but a Mobius, you never can. It's always got that half twist. How are your hats coming along? How am I doing? Who's winning? Who's got the most rows? Let me count my rows. Got 11. Wow, 2.5 more 6-day kid blankets until Christmas. You have plenty of time for those. Depending on how big they are. I have 6 6-day kid blankets on the hook. That was my goal at the last challenge. 6 works in progress. Ridiculous. I think I need to at least finish 1 before the next challenge and set the goal to finish a second one maybe during the challenge. I thought maybe after the 6-day kid blanket challenge, depending on how we're all doing with holidays, maybe we could do a, hopefully by, you know, in the next very soon week, Metro North will be published, and I could do a scarf, challenge. Tomorrow we're going to work Marianne's cowl together. Marianne's going to lead that one with the Haven. And then on Wednesday we'll do the swirly version. Oh yeah, homeschooling. That's extremely time consuming. I used to do that. Is everyone falling into a good rhythm with their hat? Does anyone, nobody has any questions? Anybody have any questions? Yes, you will. It's huge. It's obnoxiously huge. But it's extremely warm. When you are out shoveling snow, you will be like, oh, thank goodness I have this hat. And if you put a gigantic pom-pom on it, you can go everywhere with a lot of confidence. My pom-pom is so big. When I wore it to New York City, the day my kids and I went to, oh yeah, Crystal, you'll love it. Well, do this one first. Once you do this one, then the swirly will be piece of cake. It's just a variation of this. Goes by much faster because it's only worked on, I think it's worked on 29 stitches, 29 chains, and it slants, and it's about the same size as the toque or the beanie version, the 25 stitch version of Maiya's roommate's hat. Nice. I can't wait to see it. Make sure you guys post all your deets when you post your hats. Tell us what yarn you're using, what hook you're using, how many you started with your chains. Do it just like the 6-day kid blanket group, and we'll have that resource for people who come along afterwards and want to know how to make different sizes and how to use different weights of yarn. These hats come together quick, so there's really no real reason to ever have a work in progress unless you set it down. Don't set it down. I have a basket full of half-finished ones over there. I have my little hat challenge basket. Hey, Mudkip. Mudkip's here on the live. You guys see him? Oh yeah, you can see him there. He always has to be in the video. That was like my dog, Luke. I had this chow, Luke, and whenever we were all getting together for like a family photograph or something, he would always jump in and get in the photo, and he wouldn't move. Ooh, you got some landscapes. Landscapes are perfect for the swirly version. I mean, I'm sure you could do Maiya's, the regular hat with them also. I never have, because I always use kaleidoscope, and to me the heavier yarn, the kaleidoscope, feels a little too heavy for the swirly version, although I made one. And it's in the photos. Like, I think I posted it on Instagram yesterday. It's got a gigantic, it's a swirly kaleidoscope. It's got a gigantic pom-pom on it. But to me, I just, I don't know. I prefer something a little lighter for the swirly. And the landscapes are perfect. The way the color changes work up on them. It just looks great. It's like the perfect yarn for that hat. What's up, Muddy? You sniffing around? Yeah, I know. No works in progress. Oh my goodness. I have a whole basket of them. I have a basket of hat whips, and there aren't that many works, you know, half finished hats in the hat basket. But there are more than there should be. But I really just made that basket. That's just like the Hatapalooza basket. I'm going to throw a bunch of yarn in there that I want to make hats with and cowls with, and swirlies and the swirly cowl, and so that's my basket. I have a thing for laundry baskets. And I have yeah, I have a bunch of works in progress. I'm like, oh, I've got a bunch of yarn right here. What should I do with it? Let's sort it out into a basket. Then it'll go into a laundry basket, and that'll be like a thing for a time. I'm weird. You guys probably know that already. Yeah, and you can do, okay, so you can do one swirly and hat and one swirly cowl from 2 skeins of landscapes. I'm almost ready for my next ball. We're halfway there. I'm getting it ready. Halfway home. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and sometimes it makes me a little anxious. So I really, because I get startitis a lot, and then sometimes I get finishitis, and I get anxious because I want to finish. Ooh, this is like blue and white now. I really love this yarn. They don't match, and I don't care. Has anyone bought Karen Pantones? Besides me? Oh, no problem, Peta. It is Loops and Threads Kaleidoscope. And I bought a ton of it last year. Of course, you can't see that. It's Kaleidoscopes yarn by Loops and Threads, and it is a super bulky size 6. Calls for a 10mm hook, but I'm using one that's a little bit smaller, because I like this hat to be dense. I don't want it to feel airy or holey at all. Hello, Diaz. Hi, Jennifer. You haven't bought any. You're saying no about the Karen X Pantone. It's not my cup of tea. I think that they are for people who like to cut up cakes and people who want a little bit fancier yarn. I'm pretty sure I said that on my page, probably more than once. So I made, you know, I made a Maya's roommate's hat with it. It's a pretty nice looking hat. To me, it was a labor of love. Is that the thing that you say when it was like really laborious? I don't know. It feels really nice. It feels, the drape is nice on it. It's really soft. But this is the hat that I got out of it. I cannot fit it on my head. I have a tiny head. This hat is for a child or a teenager. And what limited me was the length of this stripe. Okay, so when I ran out halfway through the row, I was done. I carried the colors along the top and bottom. And this, I used every last bit of yarn left for this pom-pom. So it's a small pom-pom. It's not even a medium one, it's a small one. So then I was thinking, I said this in the beginning of the video, I was thinking if I just kept going with each color until it was gone and then changed, I could probably make a bigger hat. But then I might as well be using cakes that change on their own. Those were my thoughts. How are we doing? How many rows do you guys have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 14. I'm on my 15th row. Oh, Hometown. I can't wait to see that one. What, Kathy? Oh my gosh, Kathy's speedy. Kathy's winning. Oh, must crochet faster. Of course, I decided to do 40 for my video. I thought about only doing 25, but I thought, no, I want to do the original, you know, like the original hat, because I know, you know, people may watch this video. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. You don't even have big cakes. Uh-oh, I did something wrong there. I was trying to catch that end, and so I did something a little funky, but I'm gonna take it out. I'll weave it in tight later. Maybe. A year from now. Well, Gail, I'll probably find a bunch of mistakes later. You got 25 rows, okay? Well, all right. If you started before the video started, then I don't feel so bad. Wow, you have tea cakes still. PETA, we're still... Actually, we have enough sprinkle cakes in one of the colorways left at the store for a blanket, and it's the same colorway that I have a blanket in progress on right now. I don't remember what that colorway is called. It's like mocha fudge or something like that. And it doesn't look really great in the cake, but it looks really nice worked up. And so those, I think it's like 8 or 9 skeins cakes of sprinkle cakes are just hanging out in the back of my store. Just every time I walk by, I can't help but like rearrange them and count them and look at them, and I'll probably end up buying them unless somebody watching this, Sandy or Natasha, goes and buys them before me, but they're enough for a 6-day kid blanket. I have so much tea cakes lurking in my room though. I've got a lot of vanilla bean. I love that one. Love it. I feel ready for fall. I'm crocheting a hat. I went to the beach. Somehow going to that beach and then coming back, it helps me feel ready to move on. Well, the big cakes look amazing when you mix them together. Even, you know, like I think the one on the cover right now is like 4 different colors of big cakes, and she just went one after the other, and it looks amazing. It's the most gorgeous blanket. So beautiful. In fact, I want to buy one of each of those before before they're gone. We still have them at my store. Some of them, I will say, some of our cakes are looking a little rough though, because of the way, I don't like when they put them on the shelves. They do better on the drive aisle. They don't get as torn up on the drive aisle. But when you put them in the shelves, and even I am the most OCD person about the yarn. I can't, if I walk by yarn in the store and I see a big thread hanging, it's hard for me not to like try and grab that and fix it. It drives me crazy. And then when I put the yarn away, when I stock it, I try not to smash it or mess up the labels or anything like that. So when I see it in the bins on the shelves like that, I just cringe because I know it's gonna get all torn up. And so I was stocking up some regular cakes yesterday, and even the way those shelves are, it just to move a couple of them started snagging them. And it's like once a cake of yarn gets like one snag, it's like done. And oh man, I was just like, I was cringing at my own self because every time I touched one of those cakes of yarn, it just like, it damaged it a little bit. And it made me sad. Taking a little, we should have taken a yoga break when I changed skeins. Man, I'm yawning. Now, does anyone have a specific person in mind for the hat that they're making? You guys making them? Labels are not tight enough. No, they're not. Some of them, the glue, they just fall right off. You pick it up and it just starts falling off. Come on, Mochi. Come on, buddy. There you go. Okay. Oh, I started telling you guys earlier that my dogs are just not doing great in this heat. So that's why I'm keeping the AC on for the video. I don't know if it's interfering with the sound, but donations and family. Nice. I don't really have a recipient in mind for this hat. I have a couple baskets of hats downstairs. I just made a whole bunch last year, and I let my daughter kind of decide which ones she liked and wanted to keep around, and I picked a couple for myself. And I don't know what's gonna happen to all the hats I make this year, but I know I'm gonna make 1,000,000 of them. Nice. Wow, you'll be so far ahead for Christmas, Darla, at this point. Spend a week making hats. It's gonna feel good to be so far ahead of the game. Hey, stop licking me. Ooh, hometown black tweed. Swirly, okay. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and you know, if you're working on a hat and you're like, oh, I really like this, then that's the one you keep for yourself. Whoops, sorry. I started doing that a few years ago. I make a lot more for myself now than I do for others. And when I do, and I think everybody in my life knows this, that when they get something from me, it's really from the heart. You know, like I have to love you to give you something. Hey Mochi, why don't you lay down, buddy? Stop licking. Just, I have the AC on. It's like only getting so cool, and then that's it. That's as far as it'll go. It's really hot. It was 91 earlier. I'm in here making a hat. We'll be shoveling snow next week. I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me. I was actually thinking about putting a box out on my front porch somehow, like some kind of little flower box type of thing with a lid to keep it safe, and just putting the hats in there and just letting people take them. It got really cold here, and I saw a lot of people with no hat, no cowl, no scarf, no nothing, no gloves. And it was so cold for so long. You know, just put a little sign on it like, hey, if you need a hat, if you need some help keeping warm, just take one. I couldn't live in that type of climate where it gets that cold and it's supposed to be spring and it's cold, it's snowing. 19, I'm on row 19. I still have quite a ways to go. What does everybody think about the pumpkin spice latte season? It starts, you know, September 1st, the other day. Pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that. Oh my gosh. I don't really like pumpkin spice all that much. Oh, that's a good idea. Apple cider. Oh yeah, cider. It's cider time. That's true. I could just tie them to my post out there. Just put a little note, a little tag on the inside. You know, with a little, couple little words, carrying words or something. Last year I found this great pair of gloves. I was at Starbucks with my friend of a friend. She's one of those friends that she's such good friends with such a good friend of yours that even though you've never met, she's already your friend. I was at Starbucks with her and somebody left a pair of gloves on our table and they were really nice, much nicer gloves than gloves I would ever buy for myself. And I asked, I was like, do these belong to anybody? We waited for somebody to come back for them and no one ever did, and we were there a long time, and I was like, these gloves were sent to me from the universe. They're my universe gloves. Oh, nice. Warm spice cider, or I had a hot toddy once. I don't remember what was in it, but it was really good for my sore throat. Yes. I think it's like whiskey and hot water or something like that. Lemon in it. I don't remember. I just remember it was probably when I was in college and I was like sick, but I was out at a bar. And I had a very sore throat and the bartender said, "Would you like a hot toddy? Sounds like you need one." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it." And I liked it. Calm down, Mooch. Farm Harvest Tour. Where is that, Jennifer? Is that somewhere on the East Coast? Is it near me? I'm in New York. Upstate. Oh man, I love blackberries and blueberries. Any of those dark blueberries. Last year, Marianne and I went blueberry picking, and I picked, they said it was the record. It was like 13 pounds of blueberries. And I just finished them up not too long ago. Kenton County, Kentucky. You know what, Jennifer? I have a good friend I think lives in that county. She runs an art center. She lives in Kentucky. Might not be that particular county, but that sounds really familiar. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that's possible. That you are in the same place as my friend Cheryl. 21. Nice. Yes, it was, I don't remember it being super spicy, but, I do remember like whiskey, lemon juice, hot water. I think he did put honey in it. Well, hot water with lemon and honey on a sore throat, or hot tea with lemon and honey. I used to take voice lessons, and that's what my voice teacher always recommended. And then a couple of years ago, somebody told me, I was reading online or something. I don't know how I started doing this, but I started doing the half of a lemon in hot water in the morning. And man, when you are congested or you're not feeling well and you do that hot lemon water with like half of the lemon, the juice from half of the lemon in it, it is really, really helpful when you're not feeling well. I've never done pineapple juice for my voice. Hey Dee, what is up, girl? You making your hat, Dee? You got a hat going? Hot toddy. It's a fun word to say. It's fun to say it. Hot toddy. You just got back from the lake? I want to go to the lake. The lake sounds so peaceful. What do you do at the lake, Dee? Did you crochet at all, or were you water skiing? Be careful what you wish for, Dee, because I will. I'll be there. Because I love vacation, and I love outdoors, being outside, and relaxing at the lake like a Girl Scout. You can pretend it's a cute guy you're seeing on the side, your hot toddy. I wish. Ugh, dating, don't get me started. What a horror show. Everything's online on these apps. Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, did you make a campfire? I love the smell of a fire. I can't even think about a fire right now. It's so hot here. What it would feel like to be next to a fire in a fireplace or outside. Oh, that's nice. Well, you know, Marianne and I will definitely come on our bus tour. I gotta get my poop together planning that stuff. Because we are doing it. I'm ready for when it cools down in the evenings and you just need like a little light sweater to put on over your t-shirt and shorts. Not that I wear shorts. Nobody wants to see these legs. But oh, but isn't it nice when you have to go outside and just put a little shawl on or something over your summer clothes? I'm ready for that degree of cool. Yeah, Christy, at first you're gonna think the hat is too big. And it's, you know, it is a very obnoxiously big hat, but it will be warm. Where am I? Am I done yet? 2, 3, 4, 5. 22. Let me try it on. Not ready yet. I'm telling you, you'll thank me when you're out there shoveling the snow and you're buried and you have that giant pom-pom flopping around on the top of your head. And you're gonna be like, I'm freezing, I'm shoveling snow, I'm buried up to my waist in snow that I need to shovel, but my head is warm and I look cute. Man, I love that hat, that purple and green one. I wore that one on the really cold days, but I'll tell you, the one that I wore consistently that was like my go-to hat was the swirly. And I got a lot of compliments on it. I was at a craft store one day, not Michael's, but another one of the chains, large corporate chains, and I was wearing the swirly hat, and I was buying landscapes to make more swirly hats with, and the girl that was ringing me out said, "Oh, that's a cute hat. Did you make it?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, she was a young-ish girl, like probably like in her 20s. She goes, "If you come back in here," I think I might have said, "I'm making yarn, I'm buying yarn to make more." She goes, "Oh, well, if you come back in here and bring some more of them, I'll buy one from you." And I said, I never saw what I make, okay? So I said to her, I go, "Oh, really? What would you pay for this hat?" And she looks at it and she goes, "I might go up to like $15. Oh my gosh. The yarn is $7.99 or $6.99 a ball, right? To start off. And she might go up to $15. I just wanted to like pummel her. I was like, "Please, don't you know who you're talking to?" I didn't say that. I don't think I was big then. Not as big as I am now. 23. That sounds awesome, PETA. I used to think snow was a 4-letter word also, but when I first moved back here from Hawaii, I would really get sad when the seasons changed because I loved Hawaii so much. My son and I would see like the first, you know, brown leaf we'd see like the first leaf turning colors in the fall, and we would like have this little pity party, and because we missed the warm weather so much. But now this will be my 3rd winter in New York coming up, and I thought, what am I doing, like moving to New York when I hate the snow and I love warm weather. I love Hawaii, and I never missed the seasons changing. It didn't bother me that the seasons didn't change. And I thought, well, it is pretty in the fall, you know, but I don't care. I would be perfectly happy to live in 80-degree weather and sunshine and flowers all year round for the rest of my life. But coming up here on the 3rd winter, you know, the snow is really pretty sometimes. It's really quiet and peaceful, and it traps everybody at home. You know, you get to have your crochet day or just slow down. It forces everybody to slow down and stop. And just, I don't know, I kind of actually like it now when it snows. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's kind of fun. Quiet now. Go on, Mochi. They're calling you to go. Go on. I think I might run out of yarn not run out of yarn, but I think I'm stopping. Let me see. Am I stopping at 24? Take my hair clip out. The pattern, I believe, says 26 rows. I have a small head. So, Mochi, go on down. So you have to, you guys can't see me trying this on. Yep, this is going to be good for me. I have a small head though, so if you have a normal size head, then whatever, put it up, hold it up to your head and see how it fits. Let me find my he's fine, Teague. He just kind of settled in. I have an idea. Let's measure it. Oh, that's a novel idea. We can actually measure it. Oh. You guys get the lovely view of like my body and my legs when I get up and down. Enjoy it. Now he's going. All right, Mochi. Dummy. Oh, it's only 20. Maybe I'll go ahead and do 2 more. Might as well. I need this pretty soon. Numero 2. I know some people love winter. And when we lived in Hawaii, people would say, oh, I just miss having the seasons change. And I was like, I wouldn't care if I never saw another snowflake again as long as I lived. I would say stuff like that. But now I actually like it. My street's really pretty where I live when it snows. I'm right across the street from a park, and I can actually see the river from my window, and it's just beautiful. It gets all the water freezes over and the ice. You should have been a bear so you could hibernate. That's funny. What are you guys doing for pom-poms for your hats? Anybody making a pom-pom? Number 2 done. Kathy, you're cranking them out. So Marianne is the 6-day kid blanket machine, and Kathy is the Maiya hat machine. Although Marianne was making the Maiya hats last year, like, she was pumping them out like crazy. She'd be texting me like, oh, I'm gonna meet a friend tomorrow I haven't seen in a long time. I just started a hat and cowl. I'm gonna make a hat and cowl for her. She'd make a hat and cowl. Have her ready for the next morning. I keep doing this. Oh, I keep making that slip stitch really tight. Fur pom-pom. Oh yeah. I have a lot too of them. They're cute. Sometimes I don't decide what I'm gonna do until I make, like, I'll make a bunch. I'll make a bunch of hats, and then I'll like lay them all out with the pom-poms and bring my daughter up here and have my daughter decide which pom-poms go on which hats. You've never made a pom-pom. Well, I have pom-pom makers here, and I usually use a giant pom-pom maker to make a giant pom-pom, but I can make a couple different ones. I know Marianne likes the really like thick, dense pom-pom, but I like the kind of loose-ish one. And there are different things you can do. You could make braids or dreadlocks at the top of your hat. But I can show you how to do one without a pom-pom maker. As soon as I get done whipping up this hat, coming to the end, then you want it, this is the reason why you want to do an even numbered row, because you want to end on the bottom. Now you could, if you could finish at the top, cinch up the top, and then seam the side of the hat, and then do your edge. If you know, and that's happened to me a couple of times, like probably this hat, 22 whatever, 24 rows was not quite enough, but 26 might be like one too many. So you can do that. I like my ends to end up at the top of the hat. That's all. And then you all know the reason, because I'm lazy. Yeah, you can just make like 3 or 4 braids, like 6 or 8 inches long, and just tie them together in the middle and make like a braid pom-pom. Okay, and I do this edge just exactly like I do the 6-day kid blanket edge. I take two threads into the stitch, and I leave 1 or 2 depending on the bottom, and then a lot of the time I go into this, top of the stitch. It just depends. You can also do reverse single crochet on the edge of the hat. You can do it without the edge. This is not an exact science. You make it nice and even. Don't make it too tight. If you make it too loose, it'll ruffle. If you make it too tight, you won't be able to stretch it. Though I don't think this hat is going to need to stretch at all. I just think it's a nice clean edge. Although I do notice that you get this little gap on the double crochet. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. But it's not that noticeable if you cuff up the hat. It's not that noticeable in the finished hat, but I have thought about that little issue and what am I going to do about it. Hatapalooza. I hope everybody gets to make a hat today. I know a lot of people aren't able to be here, to be live with us. But I hope everybody gets the chance to check in and work a hat. This hat is huge. You think the velvet with the loose pom-pom. I'll show you how to do it when I finish the edge. When I get this all wrapped up here, then I'll show you how to do that loose one, and you don't need a pom-pom maker for it. You just need like a book or... Oh, making the fur pom-poms. Wow. That, sounds fun, making them. I bet you could make money making them and selling them, because they're so popular. But I wonder if they're going to be popular again this year, like they were so popular last year. Like everyone was putting them on their hats. mean, I hope so, because I'm about to put fur pom-poms on another round of hats. It's a nice finishing touch. I really like the fur pom-pom hat on the top of the swirly. It's just, especially if you have like the colored ones, it's really fun to just pick a color to set off the hat. Okay, I'm almost at the end of this edging, and then I'll show you how I slip stitch the seam. I think that that getting a yarn needle and actually sewing up the seam is a little bit neater, but once again, this is crocheting for lazy people like myself. I just don't feel like cutting the yarn and getting a needle and going through that extra step and blah blah blah. Okay, so this side that you just worked is going to be the right side when you cuff up the hat. So you want to make sure that you put the right sides together. Now, if you're not going to have a cuff, if you're not going to cuff the hat, then let me think about this. This is going to go like this. Yeah, nope, I'm wrong. If you're not going to cuff the hat, then you put the right side of the single crochet row, that's your right side together. If you're going to cuff the hat, you go the other way. You put the wrong side of the single crochet row together. Either way you do it, you're going to have a little bit of the wrong side of the seam showing, but this way it's not going to be right by your face. Okay, so then what I do to get it started is I go across to the other side of the row. I go under 2 stitches of the side of that single crochet that I made, and I pull the loop through it. And that's how I get it started. And then chain 1. And then I go under, this is my starting chain over here. So I go under, whoop, I go under 1 stitch of the starting chain, 1 thread of it, and then I go under 1 thread, the most outside thread of the stitch on the other side, and then I slip stitch, so I just pull through. Darn it. Darn it again. Oh my gosh. See, if this was a real video, I'd cut that part out, especially the part where I'm screaming. Okay, you're going under 1 side, going under 1, pull through. Keep it really loose. All the way up to the top of your hat. Can you guys see okay? Someday I'm gonna have a video YouTube studio or have everything all set up. A nice table and lights. I feel like I have a split in there. Anybody seaming with me? like the rhythm of crochet. Like each stitch has its own kind of rhythm. It has more rhythm than knitting. Knitting feels like much more even and controlled. And I don't know, crochet has like a rhythm to it. Boop, boop, brrr. Doop, doop, doop. If you heard what goes on in my mind, you'd probably be cracking up. They should come out, right? Even. The same number of loops on one side as the other. And if it just so happens that you don't, then, you know, just depends on how bad it is, how far off it is. To me, whether I would go back and fix it or not. No matter what happens at the end of this row, I probably won't fix it because I'm on the video. I'll fudge it. Doop. Whoops. Doop. Doop. Alrighty then. Ooh, this hat's huge. Done, 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 done. Well, not really done. Yeah, so this is the right side, so when I turn this hat inside out, I think I still did it backwards. Oh well. It doesn't matter. I was looking at my big one when I was prepping, and I was like, I think I did that backwards. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm pretty sure for this pom-pom, I wrapped the yarn around my phone, which I'm taking a video with, but let's try this. Gonna wrap around. I have plenty of yarn, so I'm not counting. I want it to look like this. So, I don't know, maybe 20 wraps. Maybe 30. See, here's where it's like the recipe thing again, where I'm just kind of like, where Marianne would be counting and measuring, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just do it about, I don't know, 20 times. What I probably did was I kept going until I ran out of yarn for that other one. That's probably what happened there. Looks about right. Okay, and then you slide it off. I wrapped it too tight. Try not to do that. It's almost kind of like Marianne's tassel technique. Remember her tassel video? I think she put on YouTube. You could tie it like here, and then that would make like a really splayed out pom-pom. But this is how I did this one. You tie it around the middle like a bow tie. Tie it tight, really tight. Fake it till you make it. Ha! Exactly. Okay, and then you cut these. And I always give it a little trim. You see how uneven they are. Always kind of squeeze it and then cut off any big. I don't need it to be perfect, you know, I want it to be like this. This one's definitely not perfect. It's not one of those like perfect round pom-poms. So I just kind of trim it up. You can make it as perfect or as imperfect as you want. Ooh, look at all that fuzz. It could maybe, I mean, it could maybe stand a few more wraps. I think I did 30. You could maybe do 40. They're about the same. This one's a little less fluffy. Okay, now let's see. The side that I'm looking at is the inside of my hat. So I'm putting the pom-pom on the inside. And then I have, oh, let me get my, move over, buddy. And now I'm sitting on the dog. These are one of my yarn ends. From my project. Gonna run this through where I turned and did my chain. Just gonna run it under those. They kind of go straight across the work from front to back, those little threads. Oh, it's my hook making that noise. Pull it tight. And I take one thread from my ends and the other from the pom-pom, and I tie it. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. The only end I have here is where I changed the ball of yarn. That's it. Oh no, I have one here. Oh yeah, because I changed twice. Okay, I'm like, how did I end up with... Never mind. Woot woot. Had-a-palooza. Does it count? I guess I'm feeling like it's not going to count until I weave in my ends. I hate weaving them in. I hates it. These are so fast and easy to weave in though. I'll just do it. I'll just do it and not complain. Anyone else finishing up? Hey, Roger. Roger, I think this hat might even fit you. I don't know. You probably have a pretty large head. Would you wear a hat with a pom-pom? Calm down, Mochi. Calm down, buddy. They said the worst thing for my dogs are to get excited. So both of them went to the vet last week because of this heat. Both of the Japanese chins have heart murmurs. And I guess the bigger, like we knew Mochi's was pretty bad, but I guess the bigger one, Jake, his is worse than I realized. It's gotten worse. recently, and so they were just, both of them were really struggling in this heat. Just trying to keep them cool and keep them comfortable. You know, they're old. They're very old. Japanese chins don't live that long. They get caught on door frames. Yeah, I could see that. I'll have to wear this one when I see you in New York, just to give myself a couple extra inches. This is my favorite hat. Alright, now I'm done. Dunzo. Hatapalooza. Too busy watching. You guys can't see them. There we go. Woo! This might have been my longest live yet. I don't even know how long was I on. It doesn't tell me. Alright, that is Maya's roommate's hat. So tomorrow I'm going to go to the Haven and I'm going to, thank you. I'm going to go live with Bestie Marianne and let's see if I can do this. I'm going to go live with my bestie Marianne from the Haven, and we're going to teach her cowl that goes with the hat. How do I look? It's bent down. I could be a punk in this hat. Just wear it like this. Hey, hey, hey! Woo! Nice. I'm glad I did the extra 2 rows. I needed it. So you can wear it like this, or you can wear it like, you can put it out like that and wear it more floppy style. Some people wear them without the cuff at all, floppy style, super floppy. This one wouldn't be too bad to wear floppy because that pom-pom's not too heavy. My giant pom-pom is really heavy. I almost have to like balance it on top of my head. I'm digging this one. It's too hot for it though. Mush mouth. Lots of room for dreadlocks if you have them. You can wear dreadlocks up in this hat. That's how big it is. Woo! Alright guys, be sure to post your creations you can post them in the event or in the besties group. And if you, 2 hours, I did the whole thing in 2 hours. That was pretty good. So imagine if you only did the 25 version, you could, you could crank a couple of them out in a night easily. If you, yeah, we're all gonna make so many hats. This is gonna be awesome. Thank you. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. When we decide what time we're going to be live at the Haven, then I will post it in the I'll post it in the event. I'll change that time on that. They all say midnight right now, but it doesn't mean anything. So I'll change the time on them, and then we'll try to decide what time we're going live every day so people will know when to check in. Thank you, Gail. You're welcome. So tomorrow we'll be doing the cowl, Marianne's cowl. Wednesday will be the swirly version, and Thursday will be the swirly cowl. And that hasn't been published on Ravelry yet because I'm waiting for the photo shoot. So if I'm not able to get it, a photo shoot done of it, I'll just publish it in the besties without the photos. So everybody will have the swirly cowl by Thursday if you want to make the swirly cowl to go with your swirly hat. You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. It's always great to be with you guys. This group and this forum is like such a blessing. It's really great to connect like one-on-one directly with the people that are making my patterns. It's great. I really appreciate you guys. And all your feedback too really helps to make the patterns better. All right, so I'm here for questions. I'm going to be hanging out here, probably lurking around in the groups and stuff. So if you have any questions or you just want to hang out, just holler at me. And I'll see you with Marianne tomorrow. Bye.
Very big.